Our job was to take Crown's new range of colours, which they'd come up with 5 keywords for, like passionate and sexy, and realise that using a CG fluid that obviously looked like photoreal paint. RealFlow was perfect for this commercial because once we'd come up with the first initial look and feel of the paint with the viscosity settings, tension and forces, this could easily be used in all of the following shots. And apart from a slight bit of tweaking, it was the exact same setup throughout, which was great because you knew what you were going to get from each shot almost before you'd done it. You could rely that it was going to give you the output that you needed. One of the biggest challenges was probably bringing the whole piece together. Initially there were 5 keywords which were treated as separate RealFlow scenes, but as the edit went along and as naturally as these things do, when the scenes got cut together, they felt very separated. There was no sort of continuity and it needed to be a lot more seamless. So the challenge became that we had to join these scenes together. But the great thing about RealFlow is we could use the bin loader system where you could take your bin files from older scenes, bring them into your current scene and still let them interact. So you could get approved animation of another simulation, bring it into your current simulation, have everything interact without editing the approved simulation. The individual look for the paint, it's quite an interesting one because at the beginning the client obviously wanted realistic paint, but when you actually look at realistic paint, it doesn't move how you may want it to in a commercial. So obviously that's where a bit of artistic license comes in. So to begin with, we had to come up with a look that reflected CrownPaint, but was also nice and natural and artistic for a commercial. So coming up with nice flicks of paint from when words emerged from liquid and getting that approved by clients, it wasn't tricky, but getting the right style was quite hard to begin with. But once we'd all got the same sort of technique and an approved look going, RealFlow made it very easy to use those same controls for every shot. Maxwell, we used that as our renderer, the sole renderer for this project. Again, we used the RealFlow render kit where we could just simulate all of our particles in RealFlow, load them into our 3D application, Softimage, and without knowing it, it all gets meshed at render time, saving a massive bottleneck. Maxwell was perfect for the shader setup, making nice, rich, paint-like materials. The lighting was great, just setting up white cars like you would in a studio environment, getting your highlights correct, bang, done. And the great thing about Maxwell in this project was, as not only was it the only renderer used, there was hardly any compositing needed at all in After Effects. No colour fixes, no sort of mask fixes or glows or blooms or anything like that. It was all done in the renderer.